Friday, October 15th, 2021 marks the day we are finally getting another Animal Crossing Direct. It feels like it's been forever, so let's break down what I'd personally like to see. Hello there you guys, Crystal here. We've been playing ACNH on this channel since the day it came out, and it's been quite a ride. The game has improved on many parts of the Animal Crossing formula, but it's still not without its drawbacks. With that being said, let's jump into what I'd like to see from this coming Direct, aside of course from our lovely boy Brewster. ACNH added a lot of new gameplay options and changes, but of course there's always room for improvement. The following are some quality of life changes I'd like to see. A common one I hear people mention is being able to craft in bulk, which would be especially handy for fish bait. Would save both our thumbs and our controller A buttons. Another very popular idea is some sort of shopping basket or cart for the Able Sisters, or even Nook's Cranny. I think we've all been in the changing room at the Able Sisters and realized we'd need to leave and come back to get all the items that we'd want. This next one is one I'd really love to see, just being able to move resident services. If I'm honest, I don't even really want to move it far away, I just really want the doors to line up with my airport. I remember wondering why we couldn't when the game first came out, especially since we can move pretty much everything else. Going along with the theme of moving things, our river entrance and exit. I'd be totally fine with requiring the player to have at least one entrance and one exit at all times, especially if we could move them around. I'm guessing there would need to be limitations though, like how close to other objects they could be, but I still think it would be really neat. I also have a couple more hopes that don't really fit into the quality of life category per se, but I still think would be really nice nonetheless. First up, I've been saying it since the beginning, but I think we should get more use out of our Nook phone. Give us a music player app. This would be useful for a couple of reasons. I know a lot of people don't really like the New Horizons soundtrack, which is totally fair, so maybe let us collect or even purchase the hourly soundtracks from the older games so we can listen to whichever one we'd prefer. Another neat idea for the music player app would be collecting the KK Slider songs on there so you could listen to KK on the go, or maybe even collect both his live and recorded performances. Continuing on with the Nook phone idea, maybe give it an actual phone function? This could replace the megaphone so we could call up villagers and find out where around the island they're hanging out. This next idea stems from a very specific early trailer for ACNH. Do you see what's wrong with this image? The white picket fence is not actually in ACNH, at least not that we can access. I'd love to get more use out of the customization features of the game, specifically by letting us customize our fences. This could even extend beyond just color. For example, I really like the stone items in the game, but I also really love the look of them covered in moss, so maybe we could get like time-worn looks as well. Coming up next, this idea actually came from Pocket Camp. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of that game, but I did really like the idea of using honey to attract insects, so I'd love to see that make a return in ACNH. I think also giving Flick and CJ the ability to sell honey and fish bait respectively would give them a bit more to do and make it easier on us. Now, to be honest, I'm kind of on the fence about this one, but I do hear about it a lot. I know a lot of people would love to have more villagers on their islands, but I'm really not so sure. I think we'd likely need larger islands to do that, which is actually kind of a neat idea, but I'm not sure I could keep up. Maybe we could purchase additional land plots from Nook after the initial 10, so you could have more if you want. Just an idea. Finally, the big hope I have for this Direct. MiniGames. I absolutely adored Tortimer Island. It was a fun place, and it gave you something structured to do when you had guests come over and you leave. Now, this is kind of left over from my theories prior to ACNH actually coming out, but I'd still love to see Camp Harvey. I was hoping we'd be able to travel to his island, and instead of being like a tropical themed park, you'd be in a more forest theme area with matching minigames. I don't know, I can still dream. Fingers crossed for at least more things to do online. To be very honest, I'm just happy we're actually getting a Direct. Anything they show will be totally fine with me, but it would also be cool to see some of the things I mentioned, of course. I think it's kind of important to remember these updates, at least so far, have been free, and I already really enjoy ACNH, so anything extra is awesome. These are just a few of my ideas, but maybe down the line I can do another video like this if you guys would like. And speaking of, What about you? Do you have any hopes or dreams for the Direct? If so, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your ideas. Thank you so very much for watching. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, comment, or maybe even subscribe. Remember, this has been Simply Press Start, where gaming is as simple as pressing start.